Welcome to the Exact Digital Podcast, the show where we dive into how digital marketing agencies are using paid media to drive real growth for their clients and for themselves. From planning to ROI and everything in between, we uncover the strategies, stories, and systems that set agencies apart. Each episode, we'll talk with agency leaders who are innovating with paid media, scaling their businesses, and delivering results that matter. Whether you're looking to expand your services or sharpen the edge of your current offerings, you're in the right place. Let's get into it.
Welcome to the Exact Digital Podcast. Each episode brings you candid conversations with founders, CMOs, and media experts across the industry. From performance-driven agencies to creative boutiques, together we unpack what's working, what's not, and where digital marketing is headed, all through real-world case studies and actionable insights. Today, I'm welcomed by Louisa Chiaramonte. She is the visionary and CEO and founder of AVI Media, a bold and purpose-driven full-service agency rooted in recruitment, marketing, employer branding, programmatic advertising, and communications. With more than 22 years of experience, Louisa has steered the agency into a modern powerhouse that helps mission-driven brands find clarity, confidence, and meaningful impact. Welcome to the show, and would you mind just telling us a little bit more about AVI Media's journey, how you began, and how it has evolved into what it is today?
Sure. Thanks so much for having me.
Yes.
AVI Media was founded in 2004. We began as Ad Vendors International, and we started after I left an agency that I had been working for a few years, my first job after being a stay-at-home mom. There was some differences of opinion with myself and the founder of that agency, and I decided to go off on my own, and I started AVI. Ad Vendors International at the time. We've recently rebranded to AVI Media after 22 years. So we did start in the recruitment and employer branding, very niche market, and formed a very successful partnership with Indeed. Way back in the days when Indeed was just two guys and a fax machine in an office all by themselves, and they're much larger now. So we've had a very successful relationship with Indeed, and it's allowed us to grow and expand into some new areas. The team what likes to be challenged, and the times are changing. When we started, it was all about print. The career section in the papers was this thick. Well, that's not the landscape anymore. So we've adapted and adjusted, and now we're moving into programmatic advertising, which is great to recruit employees, students, customers, everybody, residents for care homes. So it's a great fit and a natural expansion for us.
That's awesome. As a woman-led agency, how has leadership shaped your culture and your approach to growth?
Yeah, I think, as a single mom, I definitely had certain concerns and issues when you're working for someone else. It's very difficult when you have sick children, for example, wondering if this is going to be the time that they're just fed up and you lose your job because your child is sick again. And we didn't have the same remote capabilities even back in 2004. So again, the landscape has changed a lot, but I was very cognizant of how difficult it was to be a working parent. And I made a lot of room and flexibility for all of my employees, male or female, that had children, that we put family first. I always loved the saying, we work to live, we don't live to work. And that is something that, we keep at the forefront of our day. Like, our family comes first, and work is flexible. And we always find space to work with people and be flexible with their needs, with their personal needs.
Yeah, that's That's great. So important. So important. Well, also, I want to congratulate you on winning 2 Stevie Awards in 2025. Is that correct? A gold for Most Resilient Women Run Business and silver for Best Woman Run Business Under 10 People. Is that
That's right.
correct? Did I
That's
get that
right.
right?
That was just last month. We went to New York City and we stayed at
Awesome.
the Marquee and we saw a show on Broadway and had a wonderful awards dinner. It was really an exciting night. And yeah, we did take home the gold for the most resilient businesswoman. And that was, I said to my staff, if I don't win, it's rigged. because no, because we really did go through a lot. Personal tragedies that
Mm,
we had to overcome, not just me, but other people in my company. But I think the submission was written mostly on my situation, and we had to overcome some really huge challenges personally, professionally, and internationally, dealing with corruption and abuse of power.
mm,
So
wow.
it was really a big deal, and it meant a lot to be recognized with that particular category.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I was going to ask you, what did those recognitions mean to you and the team? I mean, but you kind of already answered that. That it really resonated. It sounds like with the story of your team and what you guys have been through. How does resilience show up in your day to day at AVI Media? Can you share a story or a challenge that you guys overcame that reflects that resilience DNA?
Yeah, well, there's a few. So I guess the biggest challenge, and one that was talked about in the award submission, was when after COVID hit, I had a few smaller businesses in Belize and I was living there, and COVID shut those businesses down. And at that time, I had lost a son, and had also had another personal tragedy where I was mauled by a pit bull, and that was close to near death. So that overcoming, a major grief, and major physical trauma, the challenge of, having to learn to walk again and take care of myself while running a business in a foreign country. And that didn't top it all off, because at the same time, pardon me, I launched into public relations, crisis management, for one of the first times, and helped a young Canadian woman escape corruption and abuse of power in Belize. And there's been a 13 episode podcast made about that. It's called White Devil by Campside Media.
Oh, wow.
And so that was a tremendous challenge, because we had to navigate, being chased by bad guys, quite literally, in a foreign country, get out of the country safely, run a business, all while I'm trying to, just function as a normal human. Because I think if anybody listening has ever lost a child, you know how difficult it is just to function normally in the first year or so. But you learn again. So
Yeah.
those were the major challenges during that time. The company, while I was recovering um physically from the dog mauling and losing my son, it was quite a long period of time that I wasn't able to work. During that time, there were, unfortunately, sadly, two people that I trusted to take care of the company that turned out to betray and decided they wanted to, do something on their own, and did some sabotage to the company. So that was another hurdle to overcome while healing, while running away from bad guys.
No. That is a
So
lot.
So it
Yeah.
really was a lot, and
Yeah.
I really am grateful that they recognized that and gave us that reward. Having said all of that, overcoming all of those things, we had our biggest year in sales ever in 22 years. So it was an achievement on a lot of levels, and due to a fantastic brand new team that we literally had to fire everybody. I believe it was July 3rd, 2022. We literally had to or I had to fire everybody on the team and start again with a new team. And then we had our best year in 2023.
Well, congratulations again. It sounds like it was well deserved. Um, You mentioned a little bit earlier being a premier Indeed agency partner with, I know you have over 150 active client accounts. What drew you to partner with Indeed, and why has it been such a strong relationship for AVI Media?
They came to us. In the early days when it was a very different landscape in recruitment and they were trying to build their product, they had a lot of salespeople that were wooing agencies like mine to take budgets away from print and move it online. So they wooed us. And when the product worked and when the clients got results, it was just a natural progression. And then we all saw how print faded to black. So it just happened organically. And the reps at Indeed grew to know and trust and love working with us. So they would bring, or recommend us to clients that needed that assistance with the branding products they were purchasing with Indeed. Often HR departments don't have the skill sets in the department to do the graphic design and the technical and the uploads and the back end dealing with the Indeed platform. So Indeed trained us in their platform as well as, promoted us to their existing client base so that they get that. It's free. It's a free service. Indeed pays us. The client doesn't. So
Okay.
when Indeed sells a branded page to a client and they don't have that skill set in HR and the marketing department's too busy and doing their own thing, that's where our agency comes in. We make sure that the HR department gets that beautiful branding. It tells the story about why they're an employer of choice, and all of that happens. And they don't need to worry about bothering their marketing department, who's too busy to worry about HR.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so recently, AVI Media has expanded beyond recruitment marketing into programmatic advertising and purpose-driven PR. What inspired that expansion?
Well, after I worked with Jasmine Harton, the young woman in Belize that the White Devil podcast is about, that I had several other friends that approached me wanting to get their story told. And again, the landscape has changed. It's not so easy to call up a reporter and get your story published, especially if it might be a controversial topic or one that, maybe they don't see any value in. So it's a struggle. So I've had it motivated me working with Jasmine and seeing how difficult it was to get the truth told in her particular case, and to have meaningful action, toward justice, as well as accountability and just awareness. It lit a fire, and so people have, again, it's happening organically. People are coming to me because of that situation and how successful I was in, extracting her from a very bad situation. So we've got a few NGOs we're working with now that are trying to get difficult stories told. And I think it's just that piece is just going to grow from there. So we're offering, free pro bono hours for NGOs that up to 20 hours a month. There is a limit to what we can do. Um,
Right.
I should put that in there. There is a limit. We also have to deal with, our other clients. So we're taking on a few at a time and trying to, make some meaningful change in these areas that are underrepresented and their voices aren't being heard.
Yeah. Are there any other industries that you're now working with that, with this new open kind of widening your services? Are you seeing any additional types of industries you're working
Yeah,
with that
well,
maybe you weren't before?
we've worked with industry, like many and every industry in the recruitment side. So, education, universities, manufacturing, logistics, transportation, you name retail, hospitality. We've worked with all of those sectors in the recruitment side. We are now branching out with the programmatic ads to, as I said, to recruit customers and clients, not just employees. So we're working with a lot of long-term care homes. They were a big part of our base for recruitment. And so again, it's been a natural progression to help them fill their beds as well. And so not just their nursing positions, but help them
Yeah.
fill their beds. So the programmatic is really amazing in that you can target, you can geo target, you can target by interest, age, all kinds of, you can get very granular with who you're targeting and then follow those people that show an interest. So it's a whole new way to target people, and it's extremely effective. I mean, we can literally target people as they're walking out of a hospital if that's
Right. Right.
if that's the way you want to go. So it's a fascinating new market and landscape, and we're really excited to be learning and working with people on their projects, yeah, in this area.
Yeah, no, that's super exciting. In such a crowded agency market, how does AVI differentiate itself? Like, what's your edge? What makes you guys the place that people want to come to and work with you?
I think what we hear most often is that we're responsive and we're easy to work with. We're responsive. We listen and we deliver. And those are the important points that I think anybody would agree that's what they're looking for. Someone who hears them and delivers on promises. And we're very responsive. We don't keep people waiting. So, we might be very busy, but we have a number of very basic rules in our office that emails are answered within 2 hours of receipt. I mean, simple things that just keep things moving, keep customers engaged, let them know that we are paying attention to their account every day. So I think that's the thing that I think sets us apart. I can't really speak if other agencies do it. I just know that that's what our customers tell us they appreciate the most.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, in your opinion, what makes a marketing strategy impact first, as you've described being AVI's media's approach? And how do you balance creativity with measurable performance?
Well, how do we balance it? I mean, I think they're equally important. The messaging has to be tailored to your audience, know your audience, and we might have to build out multiple campaigns um, for one outreach. Like it just depends on who your audience is. So we pay very close attention to that, and we test and we retest, and especially in the programmatic space, there's a lot of adjustments that can be made to the audience parameters and different ways to approach things. So I think it's, in the beginning, it's a little bit of trial and error, but as we move more into this space, we're learning that, impactful creative is not just the ad that they're going to see, um, when it shows up on their phone as they're walking out of the hospital, but we have to supplement that with blog posts and, let's say, newsletters and just other types of outreach and engagement, so that the creative that they see flashing across their screen means something to them and they can connect it to something. So we try to approach things from multiple angles.
No, that's great. As a leader, what advice would you give to other agency founders about scaling with purpose and meaning? And like, what would you give somebody who's just starting out?
Uh, yeah, I think, if you're just starting out, I think it's really good to have a very laser focus. So when I started, it was recruitment. Um, I think it's good to start in a niche and get really good at one thing, and all of those skills are transferable into other areas. So I think that's the best advice I can give, and that's what we're trying to do with our expansion. It's almost like starting a new business again.
Mhm.
We've done this really well for 22 years, and now we're trying something else. So we are starting with a very clear focus, and that is in a particular market segments for the programmatic, and making sure that we deliver everything we promise before we before we try and expand out. So I think that's really key. You have to take it slow, make sure that you are delivering on your promises, because you're never going to grow a business if 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 you have a bunch of empty promises and disappointed customers.
Yeah. No, that's very helpful. uh, what motivates you day to day? Just to kind of, as we're kind of wrapping things up, like, why do you wake up and why are you excited about running this business? What motivates you?
Oh, I mean, my kids and family, I think, motivate me, and all
Mhm.
my dogs. I gotta pay for the dog food. I rescue
Yeah.
dogs. I
How
rescue
many do you
dogs
have
from the
right now? How many
right
dogs do you have?
now, I'm down to 5 from 18.
Okay,
Yes,
wow.
yes, I'm amazed they're all so quiet right now. It's
That's
amazing. But,
wonderful. That's
you
great.
know, I mean, I'm motivated by I love to build things. I love to, create something from nothing. You know, so I think I'm excited again to build this. It's like I said, building a new business. I mean, AVI may be 22 years old, and I was ready to retire, until programmatic advertising happened. And then I was
Yeah.
like, "This is exciting. Oh, this is so neat. Like, let's look at this." And yeah, so it's like a new business. So I'm excited to build a new business, to
Yeah.
build something from nothing. And again, to, make people happy and deliver on our promises, and have them say nothing but good things about us.
Yes. No, that's great. Well, is there anything else you would like to share about your business, the work you do? Like, how can people find you? Where can they find you online?
avimedia.ca. We are a
Okay.
Canadian business, and we couldn't get the .com. It was taken.
Yeah.
Uh, so avimedia.ca, and we do have a LinkedIn presence as well. We're just starting to build up some social media channels, so you'll find us on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok in the coming months. It's not a space we were active in, but it's something that we are going to be moving into. So in the coming months, look for us there. But in the meantime, LinkedIn and avimedia.ca.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much again for joining us today. And thank you to everyone who's tuning in to today's episode, brought to you by Exact Digital, your dedicated partner for performance-driven media, from programmatic, display, CTV, paid social, search, and beyond. Let us know how we can help you, and have a great day.